He told me I wasn't ready. That was his mistake. I had already submitted my resignation. 2 weeks notice, new company, better salary, senior position. I was leaving quietly, respectfully. But then he called me into his office. "Sit down, Ryan," he said. I thought he wanted to convince me to stay. I was wrong. He leaned back in his chair and said, "You're not ready for promotion anyway." I blinked. "You think you're senior material, but honestly, you still lack leadership maturity." Interesting, because for 3 years, I was the one fixing his mistakes. For 3 years, I trained new hires. For 3 years, I stayed late when others left. And now suddenly, I wasn't ready? But here's the twist. I wasn't hurt. I was curious, because I already had an offer from a competitor, and that competitor didn't think I lacked maturity. They offered me a leadership role immediately. So why was he saying this? That's when something clicked. He didn't want me to grow. He wanted me to stay under him, controlled, predictable, safe. And that's when I made a decision. I canceled my resignation. The next morning, HR received my email. "Please disregard my previous resignation notice. I have decided to continue with the company." My boss, Mark, looked surprised. He walked to my desk. "Changed your mind?" I smiled. "Yes, I realized I still have things to learn." He smirked. Good. Let him feel powerful, because he had no idea what I was planning. Here's what Mark didn't know. The competitor who offered me a job was planning to acquire our company within a year, and they wanted inside information, not illegal information. Operational insights, structural weaknesses, leadership inefficiencies, and I had all of that. But I hadn't agreed yet, until that meeting, until he said I wasn't ready. That sentence changed everything. For the next 6 months, I worked harder than ever. Not to impress Mark, to observe him. I documented everything. Missed deadlines he blamed on others. Budget shifts that benefited his department unfairly. Promotion blocks for high performers who threatened him. And I built relationships with finance, operations, with compliance. People trusted me because I listened. And slowly, something interesting happened. The team started coming to me instead of him. They asked me for decisions, for advice, for direction. Without official title, I was already leading. Then the second twist hit. One evening, while reviewing quarterly reports, I discovered something serious. Mark had been manipulating performance metrics. He delayed certain project approvals, so his team's results looked stronger compared to others. Not illegal, but unethical, and definitely not leadership maturity. I didn't expose him immediately. I waited, because timing is power. 9 months later, the acquisition rumors became public. Stock price jumped. Board meetings increased. Executives looked nervous. And one afternoon, we received official confirmation. Company was being acquired by the exact competitor that offered me the leadership job. Mark was confident. "This is good for us," he told the team. "They'll need experienced managers like me." I stayed silent, because here's the biggest twist. 3 months earlier, I had signed a conditional contract, not as a regular manager, but as a transition strategy advisor. My role? Evaluate leadership efficiency after acquisition. Guess who was on that evaluation list? Mark. Acquisition day arrived. New executives walked through the office. Professional, calm, observing everything. One of them stopped at my desk. "Ryan, good to finally meet you in person." Mark looked confused. "You two know each other?" The executive smiled. "We've spoken several times." Silence. Mark's confidence shifted slightly. During the first leadership review meeting after acquisition, all department heads were asked to present performance summaries. Mark presented strong numbers, confident voice, polished slides. Then the executive team asked a simple question. How were these metrics calculated? Mark hesitated slightly, explained his system. Then they asked for raw data comparison. That's when the cracks appeared. Because I had already provided full operational analysis months earlier. They knew where numbers were inflated, where timelines were adjusted, where credit was redirected. They weren't surprised. Confirming. After the meeting, Mark called me into his office. "You've been talking to them?" I looked at him calmly. "I've been working." He stared at me. "You planned this." "No," I replied softly. "You told me I wasn't ready." 2 weeks later, organizational restructuring was announced. Several management roles were dissolved, including Mark's. Official reason: leadership realignment. He was offered a lower advisory role. He declined. He resigned, just like I almost did. Then came the final twist. The new executive team announced the creation of a strategic operations lead position, a role focused on transparency, cross-department coordination, and leadership accountability. They called my name. In front of everyone. Promotion. Official. Public. Interesting. Respect. Not fear, not pity. Respect. And the CEO said something that stayed with me. Leadership maturity isn't about confidence. It's about responsibility. I didn't look at Mark. He was already packing his office. Months later, someone from HR asked me something. "Why did you cancel your resignation?" I smiled. Because I wasn't finished learning. That was partly true. But the real reason? Sometimes walking away is easy. Staying and rising is harder. Mark thought blocking my promotion would keep me small. But he forgot something important. You can delay someone's title. And the day he said I wasn't ready was the day I became ready. Not because of revenge, but because I finally saw the game clearly. And once you understand the game,